which game excites you most out of these three? Gotham Knights, Avengers, or Suicide Squad?
Uh,
Damn, none of them.
Man,
um,
this is pretty tough.
you know what?
My
I'm gonna
my
go
answer
with
actually came easy.
Oh, I know. It's
Gotham
can I
Knights.
just no, it's
No,
not gonna be
fuck that.
For Tony. It's gonna be what's it called?
The
That Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Squad?
Yes,
Yeah.
Carlos, let's see how well you know me. Why? Because Suicide Squad. I read the comics. Don't get me wrong, but what's the real reason?
Two reasons. The main reason because it's a Rocksteady Arkham game, and the secondary reason is because you haven't seen anything from it, so you're not that disappointed yet.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Damn, you know me better than I know myself. You're right about that. Yeah, because I did tweet about that. I was like, isn't it funny that the game that had absolutely no gameplay whatsoever has me more excited than the fucking one that did show the gameplay, But the thing is, with the Suicide Squad, I really enjoyed the tone of the trailer. I think it captured the Suicide Squad really well. It felt a lot like the fucking James Gunn shit they showed earlier that day. That looks cool. I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. I was like, this looks kind of cool. What the fuck? But then I remember, like, wait, James Gunn's a good director. So,
Yeah, he's not a weird. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm like, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one was fucking dope. Second one was all right, but it was still good. I'm like, and then I saw this, I'm like, this kind of looks good. But yeah, I felt the trailer for the game had captured that feel, and I like the whole prospect of like, yo, you got to kill fucking Superman. I'm like, ooh, how's that gonna work? And I think that's clever too, because for years people have been like, oh, Rocksteady needs to do a Superman game. Superman. I'm saying this as a guy who loves Superman is my favorite superhero of all time. He is not a good character for a video game. He is too fucking OP. And if you depower him, it defeats the purpose of him being Superman. But making him a villain, that's a whole other different story. That is fantastic. Although I will say, it's like, yo, how come media don't know how to treat Superman right? It's like he's always a bad guy.
Yeah, they always got to turn him into an asshole.
But I like that. And again, the name is not called Kill Superman. It's called Kill the Justice League. You're gonna see Batman in that bitch, fucking Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, all of them motherfuckers. Ooh, it's gonna be good.
Well, if it is the Arkham universe, then that means there is no Batman in there. If we're going by that logic.
Oh, because the end of the third game, you mean?
Yeah, remember he stopped being Batman.
Yeah. And we could say the game's 5 years old. We could say this shit. But who knows? Maybe they'll bring him back. But it'll be interesting. So that's the one I'm most excited for. Manny, you were like,
Yeah, I'm not really like Gotham. The Gotham Knights game. Not really. Wasn't really feeling it. The Suicide Squad is mildly interesting. But at the same time, it's like we didn't see any sort of gameplay, so there wasn't really. It was just a nice looking CG trailer. And was there another one?
Just Avengers.
Avengers?
Yeah,
definitely not. I wasn't interested in that thing. Like it's like Gennaro Avengers. That's what we got. Like it's nothing kind of cool, like nothing cool looking about that game. It's just like, okay, we've made up some Avengers that look like the movies, but not exactly.
Yeah, Carlos.
Pretty much the same at everyone. Avengers. Ever since they started showing that, I didn't like what I was seeing. The Gotham Knights game looks like Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man kind of clone. It looked too generic. And yeah, I guess the answer is by default is Suicide Squad, just because I like pretty much the similar reasons for Tony. It's like I like the tone. I like that Superman is the bad guy. It's Rocksteady, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, and like Tony mentioned again, it's ironic that we haven't seen anything like gameplay wise, but it's I guess that's since I'm not enthused about everything else that I've seen, then that just wins by default.
Yeah, there's another point I want to make. I'm going to put a pin on it, and I want to hear Brian go first.
Okay. I'm relatively indifferent because again, I was never a fan of the Arkham games, so I'm kind of like, eh. And the Suicide Squad game it just, I don't know, it just looks like it's, I don't know, it just didn't grab me. I just did not care that much about the game. It just looked like, okay, so this is going to be a game like Avengers kind of thing. Again, I didn't see anything that made me say, okay, this is all right. And the Avengers game is just, I don't know, it's they've managed to capture blandness and put it in a video game somehow.
That seems about right.
That's a good question. That's a good
It
statement.
is
I like
tap
that.
water. No, sorry. Tap water actually has something in it. It's purified water, the video game. It's
Oh,
just
shit.
somehow weirdly bland. Like, how did you fuck it up? I don't understand.
Yo, Brian, I got one. I heard this phrase like maybe a month or two ago. I loved it. It's aggressively generic.
Yep.
It is,
It's
man.
the Shasta of video game. You guys don't have Shasta?
That went over my head, man.
It's like it's a soda, you know. That's like they try to do Pepsi and they try to do Coke, but they're not
Uh-oh.
good, but they're cheap.
Yeah, I don't think we have that up here in New York, or across the pond. By the way, I will say this is what I wanted to say about Suicide. You know what? The other thing that got me excited when I saw the end of that shit. It said coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. No mention of current gen at all. I'm like, yes, good. Fuck that shit. We don't need any of these cross-gen games, man. Yes, we have to wait till 2022, which raises another question I have. But I'm like, that's exciting. That's good. That means we're going to get a game built from the ground up for next-gen systems. So you already know that fucking Batman game is going to be on everything. The Gotham Knights game is going to be on everything, and Avengers is on everything, suspect, but I will say just a little bit of an aside here, and obviously we got to do a little bit more talking since Brett in here tonight, fucking, like, I'm like, are we going to have a repeat of this generation? And think about it like this, right? This gen starts 2020, 2022, we have a game that's coming out, exclusively for next gen. That's exactly like this generation where we had to wait 2 years until we started getting games that were only available on current gen, which was next gen back then, So I'm like, this is going to happen again. It looks like it will be. So it looks like for the first years, we're going to have to suffer through all these cross-gen fucking games, which kind of stinks, But yeah, when I saw that at the end of Suicide, I forgot who pointed. I said, yo, Tony, look, there's no PS4 or Xbox One. And I said, like, oh, shit, there's only 3 platforms. Yes! I was like
Well, and by the way, not only that, but just like last gen, the most anticipated game, according to some companies, is GTA 5.
Yo, oh man, So yeah, Suicide Squad again. I don't know when the hell we're gonna see gameplay because 2022 they don't have to show you shit until late next year. By the way, I don't know what the answer to this is. Does Rocksteady ever put out their games during a specific time window, or is it just whenever?
I mean, they always seem like they're in the holiday season, like fall, winter.
Really? Because Arkham Knight came out like spring.
Did it?
Yeah, I remember because that game was coming out around the time of The Witcher 3. I'm like, okay, Tony, 2 big open world games. Which one are you going to play? So I chose Batman,
Arkham Asylum came out August 2009.
Okay.
Arkham City came out October.
Okay.
2009.
Okay.
And Arkham Knight came out June.
Okay, so they're all over the place then,
Yeah, they don't have a time. It seems like.
All right, so we don't know when the hell this could hit in 2020, but 2022, excuse me. But we'll have to see more again. Out of these games, I'm the most excited for that one, but who knows? But again, it's Rocksteady, man. They haven't. I know some people didn't like Arkham Knight. I did, So I'm like, give me that. Obviously, Arkham Knight was not as good as fucking Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum was fucking. Arkham City, fucking fantastic. Arkham Asylum was fucking good too, though. And it's going to be open world Metropolis, which should be very interesting. Go fuck up Lex Luthor, Ooh, yeah, it's going to be cool, man. Or at least something to get excited about.